The lovely teeth you see right now are not my teeth. I manufactured my own tooth, and I relined this plate. And so that's what this video is, and I'll show you just briefly the process. So I've been through this odyssey with the dental system. So my Dentical dentist made me an upper plate, but the acrylic they make it out of was so thick I couldn't talk and I couldn't swallow. And so, I do these videos and I go on stage sometimes, and that was not going to work out. Also, I like to eat and swallow sometimes. I went to back in a doc, you got to fix it. And he said, so he shaved it off until it was so thin that, like, before I even left the office, it broke in half, literally in half, became useless. And so here I'm out. I'm out of tooth, and I'm out the dental plate that doesn't fit. It's the only one I have. And the last day I went to this dentist one more time to see if he would make it right. He says, well, you're just going to have to use the old one. And he grinds away on it in such a way that it leaves, like a rough edge that's cutting my tongue as I'm leaving the office. It's like, I'm done there. I'm not going back there. I was really depressed, and I was down. And because I don't think of myself as like a vain person at all, but, when you can't smile, because you don't want to look like a hillbilly, and, people really, I was surprised the reaction people get, if you're missing a tooth. The good old internet. I found a DIY that'll get me by in the short term. So let me just show you kind of what I did here. I found these videos online. And so the product there's a whole series of products, I guess, called Plastimorph. And the brand I found on Amazon was Instamorph. And it's these crystals, and you put them in hot water over 150 degrees, and they turn clear into this sort of gloopy, clear, plasticky stuff. And you can mold it and do whatever you want with it. As soon as it gets below 150 degrees, it solidifies again. So I got some of this stuff, and I put it on my dental plate, just, thinly in the places that I knew it wasn't fitting right. Fixed it up in there. It was okay, but it had all kinds of bits of it were hanging off, where it squeezed out. So I had bought these little instruments at Harbor Freight, that are for various little projects that we might do. And they weren't really doing much to it because by the time it had solidified, that sort of sculpting was out of the question. I tried putting them in hot water and thinking, well, if they're over 150, and that's kind of sort of worked, but just very superficial. And then they cooled off pretty quickly. I even tried using fire, and I got a knife and put fire to it, and that kind of sort of worked. The thing I came out with the first time around it was okay. I was surprised that, I looked in the mirror and give it a quick look, and well, the thing is, now that you have seen this video, and if you should happen to run into me in real life, if you're in Bakersfield, California, you're gonna look, right? And, it's like, when I was in high school, my friends and I had this amazing thing happen. We got to meet James Doohan from the Star Trek. And it was at a local Jack LaLanne place, and Jack was there. Now, I was so jazzed because I was such a Star Trek fan, but Jack LaLanne, what a guy, man. He had just done, he was like 60 years old, younger than I am now, and he swam from Alcatraz to Fisherman's Wharf with his hands handcuffed and his feet shackled, and pulling a 1,000-pound boat. So, yeah, it was crazy to meet Jack. I'd grown up with him and his dog doing exercises on TV. But James, my friends and I, we all shook hands with him, and we all noticed that he was like missing a finger. So that was weird. So from then on, anytime we're looking at Star Trek, old reruns, trying to find, where does he really have three? Was that it? Did they do makeup for an additional finger? Of course, now with the internet, you can just find out right away. That's where I got these pictures. But that was cool. So now the people are going to, be looking at me. I see. It lasts about a week. And it's okay at first, but then it kind of starts getting kind of weird and grainy, and it kind of sheds a little bit and turns colors. So the second time around, I figured, well, let's upgrade it a little bit. And I found these things on the internet that are they're little caps that you buy to put over your regular teeth, which seems kind of weird to me because I don't know how they would stay on there. They kind of pinch in place, it looks like. Anyway, I got one of those, about the same size as my crown that had fallen off. And when I formed the plate and then formed the tooth here, the missing tooth, I just kind of, got it hot one more time and squished that tooth on there. And it kind of didn't look better. I had it for a week and it just, never was right. So a few days ago, I did the third time and I left the fake tooth out. Now, what I did in the meantime, though, was I got a set of X-Acto knives at Harbor Freight. And it's like, 47 knives or something like that, or blades with several handles for like $10, $11, something like that. Pretty cool. I mean, even if I didn't have this project, where's that been all my life? The upshot of it is that while kind of looks like hell if you look at it closely and it doesn't feel right, but I can chew and, and I can go unnoticed with that. I don't have like a gap in my teeth, at least superficially. And, but the thing is, I was so distressed. I was just overwrought. I didn't realize how much until I figured out to do this. And a weight was lifted, and I hate to use the popular catchphrases, but it was empowering. Take back a little bit of power and control away from the Denti-Cal dentists that kind of, do whatever they want to do, because where are you gonna go? Somewhere else? I would recommend it as a very temporary kind of a thing. If you go for, your dentist explodes and you got a thing to do on the weekend, and so and the other thing is that in researching this, I found that these are really common to use this Instamorph stuff for cosplay or Halloween. So I may want to play with that in the coming weeks. You might want to experiment with it too. You can do all kinds of stuff with that material, it's kind of cool stuff. So anyway, I appreciate you sitting through this with me, and thanks a lot.